Hey, yes, so another dirt bike video. This is a 1984 KX80 that I bought up in New Hampshire. I went on my dirt bike buying binge after I got my truck and bought all these dirt bikes, and of course I don't need them and all I do is throw money at them. But hey, it's my money, right? So yeah, so I bought this one. The guy advertised it as new piston. So I didn't bother asking, does it run? So I drive an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, whatever it was, up to middle of New Hampshire. And I get there and the thing has like no compression. The guy's like, oh, it'll start. For like 20 minutes, the guy tried to get it to start. And I'm like, you want to sell it as I think he wanted $700. I think that's what I paid for it. And I'm like, you want to sell it as not running? I'll give you less. He's like, no, I'm not taking a penny less. I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself, you got me up here. You knew I drove an hour and 40 minutes to get up there. I'm not going to want to leave empty-handed. People do this all the time, and it's really annoying. It has like no compression. So finally it started, barely. The clutch is locked up. There's no front brake. He didn't mention that, of course, in the ad. And it's missing some of the plastics, and so anyway, I took it for I drove it. It had like no power. It was just a total crap box. I'm like, fine, all right. So I gave him $700. I probably should have just got back in my truck and left, but I didn't. And so I took the engine apart. It did in fact have a new piston. However, it had been bored out to the first overbore. So the stock piston's 48 millimeters. The first overbore is 48.5. Somebody put a stock 48 millimeter piston in it, and it had been bored out for 48.5 millimeters. So that's why it had no compression, because it was the wrong piston. Somebody put a new piston in it, but the wrong piston. So anyway, I had it bored out to 49 millimeters, and bought another new piston. Whatever. So this is part one, where I rebuilt the engine, and part I don't think I showed breaking the engine down. I don't have the video footage for that. I forget why, but I don't. I just pick up with here. I'm starting to put it together. So go ahead and watch. Thanks. See ya. Okay. Well, this is the 1984. KX80, very similar to the KDX, but not quite the same. Liquid cooled engine, a little bit beefier engine, a little different style. I think the wheels are larger, at least on the front. It's got a 17, as a KDX has a 16, and this has got disc in the front, drum in the back. They switched to disc in the back in 1988. But the frame looks like somebody painted it at some point. The air cleaner is missing, although I think the air cleaner for a KDX might work. The front forks seem pretty lousy, although I don't see any evidence of the seals leaking. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have much resistance, so probably will service the forks. That tire doesn't look all that bad. It is some kind of a Chinese replacement. I have new tires. Do I want to use them on this one or not? I'm not sure. See if I can clean up the disc. See if the caliper is usable. I don't know if it's usable. Unlikely. Might be. Maybe I can get this working, don't know. Yeah, maybe take the exhaust off and paint it, take the radiator off and paint it. Try to clean some of the muck off of here. Engine looks pretty nice. I hope it runs. Yeah, so I'll go through and I'll do like a service on the bike. I'll do wheel bearings if it needs it. I have pads for the shoes for the back. I have pads for the front. I have a new master cylinder and caliper if I need it. I have new tires. Like I said, both these tires are flat. Maybe they'll hold air, maybe they won't, I don't know. I think it had air in the tires when I rode it up in New Hampshire. But before I changed the tires, I ordered one of those Rabaconda tire changing machine things, and I will use that if I can. Okay, so this is the 84 KX80, very similar to the other KX80s I've done. So this was vapor blasted, the cases, the side cover, water pump cover. So I've reinstalled the bearings, cleaned it all up. The transmission bearings, output shaft, input shaft seal bearings are in. The crank seals and the new crank bearings are in place. And I'm ready to put the crank in. So the crank on this one, so the other ones, they have like a water pump gear that goes to the side that's driven by a accessory drive. This one is driven right off of the crank itself. And there's a pretty beat up shaft there. There's a bunch of seals that go over it. In any case, I am ready to install the crank. What's nice about this crank is that it has a nut on the end that I should be able to grab hold of with the tool instead of a C-clip. Oop. No, I cannot grab hold of it because it's too far away. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I can get it. Alright. So yeah, so some of the threads are sticking out. I'm not sure if I can get it, but I think I can get it. Alright, well I took this out and 15 minutes of working the nut back and forth. The threads are kind of crappy at the top. Don't know how I'm supposed to get this in there all the way. It's mostly on there, okay. going this way. That's it. Okay, so this is the 84 KX80 engine. It's all wiped down. I think it's ready to paint. Oh, I think I should put some tape over the setup. Okay, so this is the 84 KX80 engine again. I put the piston in, but no rings. Put the gaskets in and the bolts. Just want to make sure it moves freely. So that looks like it's all set. A little bit worried because, well, let me just show you. Yeah, so if I bring the piston all the way to the top, it's like right there, and this head gasket is not placed with dowels, so there's a little bit of slop in it. And if you look at the steel sleeve that's been placed in this, so it's a steel sleeve that's in here. look right here, you see how the sleeve comes up past the base of the cylinder a little tiny bit? Well, it was offset the same amount down before I got it bored, and they noticed that and they said, well, maybe we'll just make it even. And I said, okay, and I didn't really think about it. But if they made it even, then they took some of the cylinder off, you know, that much, just a tiny little bit. So when I put just one base gasket on it and rotated it, and I'd you know, put the bolts down, it hit. Now it hit the gasket. There's a metal ring here in the gasket, and I just move it a little bit. It was okay, but I think just to be safe, I have a metal gasket and I have a paper gasket. I'm going to put both of the gaskets in there, and that should give it plenty of clearance. I've had that happen before, and you use two base gaskets and it's okay. Anyway. Alright, so I'm checking the ring end gap, 0.15 to 0.35. Maximum 0.7. So supposedly it's okay still at 0.7. So gotta have that minimum so it doesn't lock up and ruin the work I just did, like I did on that KX65. Dumbass. Right. 0.15, no problem. 0.18. Tight. That'll be about 0.18. 0.2. Yeah, I can't get that in there. So it's in spec. And the other one, .15. Good. 0.18. Good. 0.2. I think 0.2 is in. Yep. 0.23. Tight. So good. Should be good to put the top end together now. Coat the needle bearing in two-stroke oil, pin, the ring's all covered in it, the arrow goes to the front. Okay, pins in. Now I can do the other circlip, which is always very frustrating, so I don't think I'll show that. Let's see, maybe it'll go right in. Maybe I'm getting better at it. Okay. Two-stroke piston rings sit on these, it's like these pins. When they close together on a pin. And if you have it out of the correct spot, then it's going to sit on top of the pin and ruin it. And I think I had it okay, but I was just wanted to make double sure. Okay, I'm going to get the torque spec for it. Okay, it looks like it's 20 foot-pounds. Take them all to 10. All right, 15. And 20. Maybe I should do 18 first. 20. And it still rotates. Good. Okay. Okay, this is the clutch for the 84 KX80. don't know if I took it apart previously, but it was locked up when I bought it. I have a new clutch disc. Yeah, this probably would have come free. This is not too bad. You can definitely clean and reuse these steel discs. Alright. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fibers and 4 steel. So just like the KX80. This one is just about the same thing. New clutch was about like $22. I mean, it's incredibly cheap. So why not buy a new one? Maybe 25 bucks. These are the same, so that's good. So let me get some oil. Put the flywheel on, so I need to put the stator back in it. So there's a little mark in there. If you can see it, see that line on the in the end of the stator there, and there's this arrow right in there. If you, it's kind of hard to see it because I painted it black, but it needs to line up. That's lined up right there. So now I have to get this nut off of here. Okay, now we have the main primary gear on the crank. Chuck does not seem to, the key doesn't seem to want to go all the way in there. Okay, seems to work. Nope, get this washer on the wrong way. I was wondering what this hole was for. A little tab here. There you go. Alright, so I'll wait on doing the final torque on that till I get the clutch in place. That way I can use the penny to have this and the clutch go up against each other. So we've got this little O-ring here which keeps oil from going down the center of the thing that I don't have in my hand, but I'll show you later. So there's a seal, which is right here, which I'm going to put in now. And then inside the seal is this standoff. I'll just go get it. Right, so you got this spacer, which fills the void between the seal and the shaft. And that O-ring prevents oil from going through this spacer into the spokes for the sprocket. So, let's see. Just push that in place. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's good. It's in place, and let's put some grease in there. Go. Okay, and I can put the sprocket on, I guess, if I wanted to do that. Okay, so the spring has a, one end is here, goes into a hole that's right here, and then you bring the other part down here so it has tension on it. Let's see. Sometimes these are easy, sometimes they are not easy. Okay, let's get this thing, goes in there, like that. Okay, and then this comes down, goes right in there. Good. Okay. Now, tightened up all these bolts already, and now I should be able to put the clutch in. Okay. There we go. There's the basket. The actual clutch, thrust washer, looks lined up, yep, good. Okay. The bolt. Alright, so now I gotta do some torquing. Go find the torque specs. So I did forget something kind of important, the shifter, and it looks like I will have to take out the off the clutch. Let's take that off of there. And there's a spring. Oh, what else will I forget, huh? Okay, can you get the spring in with this here? Don't think so. Okay, that's gonna come off. Oh, I forgot the shifter again. Ugh. You get that spring on there. Why read the instructions, right? Come on. Yeah, I had to take the spring and flip it around because if oriented the way it was, the spring ears were pushing this way against the case. Flip it around, it pushes out and keeps them on top of the little tang here on the shifter. So that's all set. Now I can put this back for the 5th time. Back here again. So I can do the flywheel first. May need to get new penny. This thing's looking pretty beat on. "22 foot-pounds. Okay, so that one's in. Now this one, I'm going to go that way. Let's go like that. Okay, so this is... Okay, so the primary nut is 36 foot-pounds. This is 22. 26. 29. 32. What did I say it was? 36. Okay, it's 32. It's getting pretty tight. 34. Yeah, that bent the penny. Okay, so the penny is no good. I stuck my screwdriver in there with soft ends. Hope that that doesn't ruin anything. It's 34. 35. 46. Okay. All right. Now, the clutch is 47. I remember that one. Okay, so that's 30. 35. 40. 4. 47. 45, 47. All right, 47. There we go. Good. Okay. Didn't bend a penny. So all that stuff is tightened up. That's, what do we do next? All right. So before I can put the cover on, I have to do some stuff to the cover. So I already put the Kickstarter seal in. This one does not have a seal up here for the clutch mechanism. I have to put the clutch mechanism back in. Before this can go in, I have to get this O-ring, which is on order, and it should be here Monday. So unfortunately, that's going to shut me down. But I should be able to put the cover on. So I'm going to put that thing in. And then, yes, the seals for the water pump. So for this one, here they are. One, two, there's like a stack of these seals. One, two, three, four. Which way do they go? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. 4 of these seals go into the clutch cover, and they go along this long shaft here. Can you see the shaft? Okay, so the seal, there's 4 seals, they go in here. Spring side goes towards the inside. And there is a stop here, so you can't put them in too far. And can't really get my big finger in there. Hoping it would just push right in, but it doesn't. Alright, first one is in. Okay, so that's one. This was like 45 bucks for these seals. So I got two of them in there. That's three. Don't know how well that last one is in there. Alright, I'm going to call that in. So that's all set. So everything's torqued down. I torqued down the clutch, and everything has been torqued. Put that on there. Okay. I've got the gasket in. I've got a little, very thin layer of grease on each side of the gasket. We're ready to put the clutch cover on. There it is. Good. Alright, so some of the grease came through. And looks like I will leave these two bolts out because I have to put this goes like that. And needs an O-ring. The O-ring is supposed to come in today. Today is Sunday, so it must be coming FedEx. Alright, so those ones for now. This one. Tighten them up and go clean off the flywheel cover and put that on. to put this impeller in. How do I? All right, good enough. Well, that's the end of part one for the KX80, 1984 KX80. Part two, I will go through the chassis and fix it all up, go through it all so it's all set. And I do that. And so part one will be out hopefully next week. And thanks for watching. Bye.